HuffPost YouGov did a poll on drone strikes. They've done several. This is the latest one. And there's some very revealing answers here, because we've shown you in the past that American population, at least a couple of weeks ago, overwhelmingly in favor of drone strikes. About 83% say, as a general thing, yay, drone strikes. When you say, hey, Americans being killed, still we had significant majority saying, yes, go ahead and push the button.
Yeah, what's interesting is that the number went down more when you say civilians than when you said Americans. I would have thought it was the other way around. I'm very pleased at that answer.
That's exactly right. So let's look at the numbers. So when you say, all right, we're killing high-level terrorists, now the number has dropped significantly, but it's still a majority, 56%. I'm surprised it's that low, to be honest, okay? So 56% say if it's a high-level terrorist, by all means drop a bomb on him. 13% say anyone suspected of being associated with a terrorist group.
Associated with a terrorist group? Like, what if you delivered food to the terrorist group? That counts it in killing in a drone strike?
And if you're a civilian, you're an American citizen, that 13% says, I don't care, drop the bomb, go ahead, okay? So now if you combine those two numbers, then obviously you're higher for either high-level terrorists or just about anybody, okay, if the government says they're bad guys. Now, 13% said you should drop it on nobody. Okay, that's a significant minority, but at least they're hanging in there, and there are people that are more principled than I am, okay, on that issue. So now here's a second really interesting number. Use of drones, if there's a possibility of killing innocent people, drops all the way down to 27%, 43% opposed. Now, there's a big number in there where they're undecided, right? But only 27% if you think they're killing civilians. And now to Ben's point, on an earlier poll, which was just last month, they asked high-level terrorism suspects, 54% say yes. American citizens, 43% say yes, so at least it's approve is higher than disapprove. But if you say civilians might be killed, then there's your 29%, right? So I'm actually pleased that the American people are at least a little bit more principled than I might have given them credit for. They say, yeah, American citizen, obviously that's, you know, that might have constitutional issues, you might have legal issues, but I care if they're civilians or not.
Yeah, that I find that interesting. The question also was asked in there about whether it's legal or not. And why you might see not the dramatic drop when it's American civilians. We're less concerned about the legality of it. Like, people don't really care whether it's legal. They presume the government is doing the right thing. They care more if civilians are being killed than if it's legal, much more.
Now, I care a lot on whether it's legal, because you have to be a country of rules and not of people, and just trust the government, etc. But I like that the American people are like, hey, just don't kill civilians, right? So that's a good moral trait. Now, here's the amazing part. The New American Foundation report found that only 2% of the people that we have killed in drone strikes meet the definition of a, quote, high-level terrorist.
Well, we saw one of those memos, you know, said, as you just says, you have to be a member of that group.
Or an associated force.
Yeah, right. I mean, you can make that case for anybody. And if so, only 2% met that level of killing high value targets, or what do they call it?
High-level terrorists.
High-level terrorists. I mean, so when you put in the question, and it was interesting because it's 29% to 42 against, if there's a possibility of killing civilians, well, I got news for you. There's a possibility of killing civilians in every single drone strike.
Yes, and so that's what I'm really encouraged by, because we were discouraged when you see the numbers, and in the beginning they seemed so high in favor of drone strikes. And one of the things I said at the time is, I said, I hope and I believe that they don't actually know what we're doing. And if they found out what we're doing, well, then they might not be in favor of it. And it turns out, you know, I don't think people know that 2% number. I think they trust the government and think it's 100%, right? And when they find out, no, here, and this is why Brave New Foundation, their video showing actual dead kids from drone strikes is really valuable, because it shakes people out of their complacency. Go, oh, well, I was in favor of killing that 7-year-old. Jesus Christ, what are we doing, right? And so if you find out what our program is, well, the latest number is 27% say that they would be in favor of collateral damage, civilian casualties. The much larger number says don't do it. So apparently, if our democratic government cares about being representative of the people, since they know they're killing civilians, they should stop.
Yeah, and it's already turned around. I mean, we're already, you know, whatever, 2 weeks ago, we're quoting the 83% number, or whatever it was, 83% in favor of drone strikes. Just asked simply enough. It's getting more complicated. People are understanding that civilians might be killed. If we spend some time showing dead kids on television, which for some reason we won't do. I mean, I know the answer to the reason, but it's an indefensibly foolish reason. Like, children die. If you want to see what your government is doing, we ought to see it. We ought to see dead children that we killed on television. And here's what's going to happen. That number of 43% opposed is going to go up.
Yeah, way up. So,
especially when we continue to go through time and 2 years from now and nobody feels particularly much safer than they do now.
No. It's just, I often talk about how progressives are on the winning side of almost every poll there is, right? And whenever I find one that we're not on the winning side of, we used to be immigration, we're now massively on the winning side of that on pathway to citizenship. I bring it up because I say, okay, look, here's one, I'm keeping it real, keeping it honest. Here's one where the American people don't agree with us. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, we did that drone poll and I said, here's where the American people apparently don't agree with us. And I hope we can change their minds. Turns out, as we suspected, they just don't know what we're doing. Once they find out what we're doing, they do agree with us.